Welcome to Real Dad Bro Talk, where all the guys come to hang out. 100% real talk with Matt and company. Here we go.
All right.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
Welcome to another epic episode of RDBT. You got Nick and Matt here, man. What's going on?
Buddy, it is Masters Week. I'm doing phenomenal.
Masters Week. When's the last time you were pumped about the Masters? I mean, I guess,
a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, Masters are cool, but now that, ultimately, honestly, though, knowing that Tiger is kind of, may have a shot, you're a little bit more pumped up than last year, aren't you?
Absolutely. I love watching it. It's a great time to watch.
Yeah.
But I think we got a good episode tonight, bud.
I do too. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. The NCAA men's and women's championship happened, and both are pretty dang sweet. And then we are going to talk about the Masters, right? So we'll talk about that. But these last couple episodes, we've gotten into beginning out in a new topic we want to bring in every single time. We're going to try to, right? And what do we think we're going to call it? What do we say we're going to call this? Oh, not sponsored by us. Is that what we're going to call it?
Not sponsored by. I like that.
Not sponsored by? Okay, so every episode we're going to try to start off with something that says not sponsored by or not endorsed by RDBT. Either way. So I'm going to dive into my story about who I'm going to choose to not endorse today. And that person is... So you listen to 97.1 The Fan?
Yep.
Me too. Okay. And I heard this on there, and they endorsed it, right? So my home was built a little older of a home, so it needs some updated windows, right? So I heard about universal windows, and Common Man was saying how great they are and blah, 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 and this is a fantastic deal. I'm like, okay, that's how I heard of them. Researched it, contacted them, got the quote together, whatever, to come out and do a free estimate, right? So homeboy comes out. He's got to be like 24, out of college. And he goes through this whole process. I have 15 windows. I was going to do 15 windows, a front entry door, and a sliding glass door. He goes through his whole sales pitch, right, of competitors. So what do you think it would cost for, if I went to Costco to buy windows? He gave me his breakdown, and he said, how much do you think Costco's was? How much do you think?
Buddy, I wouldn't even know where to start with
let's say he said $6,000. He's like, this is the low end. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, here's your high end. It's the Andersons. It's $30,000. I was like, damn, I ain't paying $30,000 for windows, man. That's crazy, you know?
Might as well just buy a new house.
Right? So then he goes, the average is 11. And I'm like, shit, man, that's still kind of steep. But I'm like, okay, I can break it up in phases, though. I'm going to go upstairs, whatever, right? Break it up. So he's like, where do you think we're going to fit in? I was like, well, since you're telling me this, I'm going to assume you're going to be less than the average, right? Like, that's the assumption. So go through this whole process. Dude is here on Friday night, by the way. So he's here. He's interrupting my Friday night in a way. I know I asked him to come out, but he's prolonging the process. Anyways, goes through this whole thing, walks around, measures all the windows, sits down, his pad of paper, does some stuff. Dude comes back, and he's like, here's how much the front. He's like, let's do without the front door. I'm like, okay. So we do without the front door, because he's like, the front door is $3,700. I was like, for a fucking front door? One door, $3,700. And I was like, yeah, I don't want that. So then he goes, well, let's just talk about the windows. I'm like, great. Go through that, and he comes to me with a piece of paper. No joke. The national average is $11,500 for windows. For the windows for my 15 windows, national average is $11,500. Comes back to me and says $18,700. I looked, I was like, what? Hold on a minute. You have go through this whole sales process, and you explain to me where all the low end, the high end, the middle ground is for what was that whole exercise for? If you're going to come in above the national average by $7,000, and I said, there's no damn way. It's $1,066 per window. Blew me away, mind boggled. And I was like, get out of my house. Like basically, like just get out of my house. And he's like, hold on. Let me see if I can call my boss. And I'm like, this isn't a car sales. I felt like I was getting like. So he calls his boss. Comes back. He's like, look. You see this note? He's got this note in his binder. He opens up his binder. He's got this note. This note says, I'm an exceptional salesperson. My boss said I can cut you a deal. It's a note, legitimate note. And I'm like, okay, everyone has that damn note. Like, I'm not stupid. Everybody that is selling these windows has this note saying I can give this special deal. So he comes, sits back down at the table, comes back. He's like, $750. I was like, $750 still is it like, something's not registering with this guy at all. And then he's like, and that's without the sliding glass door. And I'm like, well, what the hell? I want the sliding glass door. So long story short, at that part, I was like, get out of my house, for real. Like, I'm done with this. You've been here for 2 hours. You're not making any logical sense when it comes to the pricing, whatever. Remember previously when me and you were having talks about how they're watching us and how they're always like tagging you and like fishing you and things like that when you're looking for things? So the day before he came, obviously, I was on their website searching things, right? So I am on my computer and I'm researching these things. Not researching, just literally on my computer. And lo and behold, an ad pops up for Universal Windows. I click it. You know what that ad is? It is a buy one, get one free window that mother trucker tried to hustle my ass and get me to pay $10.66 a window without giving me a buy one, get one, and told me $750 was the lowest he could go. But my friend, if you do what's 1066 divided by 2?
533.
I'm putting you on the spot. $533 a window. He tried to outplay me by $500 a window, $533 a window, and then said his deal was still better than anything I could get when he completely lied. Oh, and by the way, that included installation and the lifetime warranty, which he was trying to hustle me into telling me that stuff was not normal, but he would throw it in for me. What would you have done? That whole situation, when you're sitting there and all this is going down and you find out the next day that you just been really bamboozled, would you ever, what would you do?
I would find a different company to use.
I'll never use
it.
There's
tell
no
that
way.
guy he's a terrible salesman.
Yeah, I should find his name. I should have brought that with me.
You have to know when someone is going to buy something, they're going to do, especially something as expensive as that, they're going to do some research. They're going to check online. If it's your own company and you're like a retailer and this is like the corporate website or something like that, you have to know that they're going to look at it. And if there's a buy one, get one on there, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than what you're trying to get someone to buy.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not going to get that sale.
Dude tried to hustle me, man. He tried to seriously hustle me. And then you know what he tried to do? He tried to get me to finance that shit. I was like, who threw? And he told me this company. And I did a quick little Google search on them while we were waiting. Man, if it could get like a 0.1 star, it probably got a 0.1 star. It said it was the worst financing company that ever existed. It said, like, even when you pay off your windows, they're still charging you money and they won't stop sending you these invoices, even when you're done paying them off. It was like mind-blowing to think that, Common Man, I can't believe you would endorse this shit. You endorsed it because they probably gave you free-ass windows, man. Not because you had to pay for it. You had to sit down with one of these stupid salespeople that's fresh out of college and thinks you're naive and don't know what the hell is going on. You didn't know how I'm a salesperson. I know the game. It's like sales 101. I was laughing. Actually, my wife was looking at me like I'm laughing. Like, this dude doesn't understand what the hell's going on here. I know everything he's doing. I know the movie he's making before he even makes them. So anyways.
When he passed you that note, you should have taken it, flipped it over on the back, kind of hid it behind your hand, wrote, "Get out of my house." Put it back
and just slid it back down.
And slid it back to him and see what he did.
I might do that I might tell him to come back and I've reconsidered. Maybe I'll do it at that point. But no, man, I felt just like it just wasted my time. I can't believe how much he was trying to. And the front door was $3,700. And then when we're even talking about the quotes too, he's like, and I even asked him, like, do you need to take out the sliding glass door? Because I seem, he's like, no, that's the same price as the windows. Oh, okay, cool. Makes sense, right? Windows. And he comes back and tells me that's $2,700. No, man, that's not the same price as what it's just the things he was saying. He's pulling out of his ass. legitimately the numbers are just something where the people like putting this like last day of the month he's trying to make some money on me, man. Oh, he pissed me off, wasting my time. Anyways,
it's a good way to spend a Friday night.
Yeah, don't go to Universal Windows. If you're listening, everybody, I'm gonna blast this shit on Instagram too, and I'm gonna tell y'all, Universal Windows, if you're listening, that's some bullshit way to sell some people. Do better. Train your people better. That was stupid. That was a waste of everybody's time. Anyways.
So this episode is not brought to you by
Universal Windows.
There you go.
Y'all suck. Anyways. So did you watch the my rant? I'm sorry. I'm good now. Did you watch the NCAA championship?
I watched most of it.
Most of it?
Towards the end, I started dozing off. It was kind of turning into a little bit of a snoozer. But on one hand, I did lose the bracket.
You did.
But I would like to say,
yeah,
I did make one hell of a comeback.
You did.
I think a couple episodes ago, I was 16th and 17th.
We know this.
Come all the way back to 3rd and 4th, bud. So I got to put that out there. We did have a winner.
Okay.
Tim Leedstrom ended up winning at Villanova. One had a final score of. He did pick Villanova. Final score of 136. Ended up winning by 36 points. Wow. Contacted the winner. He was excited.
Yeah. What did he pick?
Picking a blanket. Real Dad Bro Talk blanket.
I like it. I have a blanket. It's legit, man. They're soft as hell. It's a nice blanket. Good choice, Tim. Is it Tim?
Yep.
Good job, Tim. That's a good choice, buddy. You'll get good use out of that one. It's a nice blanket.
So, on one hand, I was sad to lose that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I was glad to not have to hear about that team up north winning a championship, because you would never hear the end of it. It would be months, and all you hear about is stupid basketball team.
True that.
So I was pretty excited to see them. They had, I don't know how much you watched of the game, but they kind of came out fire.
They came out fire. Yeah, they were up. They were looking pretty good, man.
When that game started, you're thinking, oh, crap, here we go. Michigan's going to roll right into a national championship, and it's over. And then Villanova kind of woke up, got the jitters out, and they dominated that game.
Yeah. Yep, they did.
It was, I think I saw it was one of the lowest viewer rating national championships, and I think it was just kind of. I think one because Michigan was in it.
That's probably the leading factor.
But it wasn't one of those. Take the women's national championship. You had a buzzer beater finish. I watched a few highlights from that game, and it was a good game, most of it. And then you get a jump shot to win the game as the time goes off. Those were two completely different games. The men's, it was signed, sealed, and delivered at halftime.
Right. Man, did you see how tall that one girl was from Mississippi State too? She was 6'7". She was 6'7" and couldn't hit the broad side of a barn, though, man. That's all she had was height. She was missing layups like it was no one's business. The tallest person they had on Notre Dame was 6'2", and she was towering over that girl, and they couldn't get that girl to make a shot. But no, that one girl from Notre Dame, that's her second game winner. That's her second game winner. I couldn't believe that, dude. How could you? I mean, when you're growing up, you're legitimately like that. You're goofing around in the basement or out in your driveway, and that's what it is. Like that last second buzzer beater to legitimately win a championship, you practice that, and that she lived it 2 times in a row. She beat UConn. No one beats UConn. She beat UConn on the last second shot, and then goes and beats Mississippi State. Last second, 0 seconds on the clock. They are the national champions. That was insane. That was crazy.
I don't know about you, but I don't know how many times we didn't have a basketball hoop in my backyard, but I went to a buddy's backyard. I don't know how many times I took the ball, fell backwards as far as I could, bouncing off the fence, throwing a shot up to win the national championship.
Yeah, man.
And it was good, of course.
I would probably see.
But to do that twice, man, that'd be a hell of a feeling. That was the women's definitely had a much better national championship.
Mm-hmm.
On the men's side, congrats to Villanova, Michigan. I'm glad you lost.
Yeah, but you gotta give credit, man.
Pretty good tournament.
That one dude was El Fuego. He was on fire.
I'm not even sure
He's
if
been
I
on
can say his name right.
DiVincenzo?
Vincenzo?
No, that's not how we say it. Say it better.
But
You can't say
Dante
it.
D. I'm going with that. 37 points.
DiVincenzo. It's Chenzo.
37 points, 5 rebounds,
How many points?
3 assists. 31.
31.
37 minutes. 31 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. That dude had the biggest game of his career in the right moment.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's living life when he's going back to Villanova right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know that he... Okay, put this in... They deleted his Twitter account. Do you see that?
I did see that.
Now,
He
come
got
on,
a little
dude.
popularity, and he had some stuff, I think, that dated all the way back to high school that he wasn't too proud of, so he had to...
But why would you even have that on there? Like, the way everything is today, first and foremost, you shouldn't have anything on there like that anyways. That's just stupid and ignorant. But then to have it on there and, like, I mean, you're in prime time. I mean, like, you know. Like, I don't know, man. It just seems really, that seems really, I guess you show your age there, right? That's immature. Hopefully he grows from it and doesn't do stupid stuff like that again, because I obviously didn't get a chance to, like, look at it, but a lot of people did. They were pretty taken
I
aback
imagine as soon as that game was over and he had that big of a game, Villanova's bigwigs, knowing that he's going to get followed on all social media, started looking at some of his past stuff to see if they could get ahead of if there was anything that wasn't too politically correct on there.
Right.
And they found quite a bit of stuff that wasn't politically correct. I think at first Villanova came out and said that his account was hacked.
Yeah,
And then they deleted that tweet and just told homeboy just to delete his whole account, and that's what he did.
Because it couldn't be hacked from, like, 2016.
Yeah, I think he just said something about it being back in high school and moving on.
Well, put that aside, man. Dude had a crazy game. Total points for the game for Villanova was what, like 79 points?
They ended up winning 79-62.
Smoked them. But, I mean, I was watching some of those shots. I didn't watch the entire thing either. But, I mean, he is, like, banging these threes in front of 2 Michigan players all over him. And he's not just on the line. Like, he's like 3 or 4 feet behind the line just cranking these things, and they're just dropping. I mean, he only missed the entire game two 3-pointers or something like that? Yeah, he only missed 2. That's pretty good. Like, you're on fire. You missed 5 total shots the entire game. And he was doing good the entire tournament, but this is where the spotlight was really on him, obviously. Coming off the bench, sparks up the entire, gets momentum going, plays 37 minutes off the bench, and just destroys Michigan. Kills them. On the defensive side, too, he was putting down some nasty blocks.
As a college player, you're wanting everyone that plays collegiate basketball or collegiate sports at all are all hoping they're going to have a game like that on the spotlights on you. You can't get in any bigger game than this. You got the next level looking at you, in this case the NBA. I'm sure that kid went home as happy as he could be.
You're jumping, right? You're jumping in the NBA as soon as you have a game like
as
that.
High as you can.
Have to.
You'd have to.
There's no way you're going to do another season. I don't care. Like, if you go out on a note like that, you have to take your chances and go into the draft. What's the one ball brother going in the draft? LaMelo, or is it? I don't even know. LaMelo, LaJangelo, whatever.
I think it's LaMelo.
You think?
I think LaAngelo. That might be LaAngelo. I think he's the middle.
He's the young. LaAngelo's the middle one. LaMelo's the little baby brother one that's not very good.
Yeah, I think that's
They're both not good. Anyways, if he gets drafted, it's a political stunt. It's just for publicity. He'll be a D-League player if he gets lucky. I don't know. I find that to be dumb. Anyways, so we talked about it. Go ahead.
I would say it was a good tournament. We finally got to see a number 1 and go down in the first round. Got a couple firsts this year. It's over.
That's true.
It's kind of nice to see. I had enough. I had my basketball fix for the year. Congrats to Villanova beating that team up north.
For sure.
I liked it.
That was good. Hey, before we get into well, I'll say that for the end one. So we were talking about the Masters coming up, and the Masters are always that's a tournament, right, for golf. Like when you're thinking about golf, the tournament you're gonna watch and pay the most attention to typically is gonna be the Masters. It's just fun to watch. It's just different. The atmosphere, everything around it. It's just that's the tournament. And this year, I feel like the buzz is even greater now because Tiger Woods is actually playing pretty good for the first time in a long time that we've seen Tiger come out and look kind of like himself in a way. So this will be cool to kind of see it. You even have him saying he feels good at his chances, and you really hope to believe that he can be there on Sunday, right? I hope to see that. And you have a pretty good story about how you're in a bracket and how your homeboy is a baller, and right?
So today was the every year for the Masters tournament on Wednesday, they do the par 3 contest. It's always kind of a laid back atmosphere, a lot more fan interaction. The golfers usually have a couple family members with them. Usually you see a lot of kids running around on the golf course with the golfer, and it's just a laid back, do a little easy contest, see what goes on. So you had Tony Finau. So I'm in this bracket where you pick 4 different golfers, and you have an A category, a B category, a C category, and a D category. So you can't just pick all top tier players.
You can't pick all A's.
You kind of have to spread them out. So you have to pick 4 different players, and all 4, to even be in the running to win the money, have to make the cut. So I believe it was my C player was Tony Finau. So I'm kind of watching today. So he gets on, I don't know what hole he was on, but he gets up and he gets this hole in 1. So he starts jumping up and down, running around. There's a little bit of a hill off the tee box down towards the green. So he takes off running. He's got, looked like a couple of his kids up on the tee box. He turns around and he kind of looks at them and he keeps jogging backwards. He rolls his ankle, and this video is on YouTube, ESPN, if you want to look it up. Tony Finau, par 3 Masters 2018. It'll pull it up. He rolls his ankle, which looks painful. But then he kind of reaches down. He kind of kneels down, and you see at first it just looks like his shoe's kind of off. Mm-hmm. But homeboy's ankle is kind of at a 45-degree angle. Ugh. He reaches down, pushes his ankle back in place, and stands back. The first thing I did was I got a hold of the guy I put my entry through and said, I want to change my entry. This dude is going to be so sore tomorrow, it's not even funny.
You shouldn't have been able to do that.
It looked terrible. I don't know how he didn't break it. And that'd be a terrible way. The par 3 contest is just supposed to be fun. You get a couple hole-in-ones. You get a lot of family out there, fan interaction, like I said. Mm-hmm. And dude goes out and rolls his ankle and then pops it back in place.
How do you do that, by the way?
I don't know.
How do you pop an ankle in place?
He pushed it and it moved right back in place.
You think it's happened to him before, so he knew what to do or something, or what?
It almost looked like it has happened before, because he just knelt right down, pushed it right back in, looked at it for a second, stood up, and walked it off.
Are you crying like a biatch if that happened to you?
I'm rolling around like a soccer player. I'm flailing my arms up and down. I'm rolling around on my back like a beached whale. That would be terrible.
I'm not playing that game either. I'm calling for the medic now. I'm waving.
Bad.
I'm waving for the stretcher. Get me out of here. Oh man, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I couldn't do that.
But the actual Masters tournament, it is one of those you start seeing on ESPN. I think darn near as early as January or February, you start seeing commercials for the Masters. And as a golf fan, personally, it's my favorite tournament of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the golf course. I love that you get all the big names are coming to this tournament, and it makes it even better. I've been a long-time Tiger fan. I hated when he was out. It's even better now that he's in it, and he's actually looking not quite his old self, but a hell of a lot better than he has. It's fun to be able to watch the Masters and actually be able to watch the Masters and hope that Tiger can compete and actually have a chance at competing.
Mm-hmm. Would you wear the green jacket everywhere you went? For a while? Huh?
You're breaking up. Ask the question again.
I said, would you wear that? Would you wear the green jacket everywhere you went?
I would. So I was watching a story on it today. So they get the green jacket. I believe it's for 1 year. Mm-hmm. They're giving it. They get to wear it. They've got all these rules about when you're wearing it. You have to dress a certain way. You have to have slacks on. You have to have like a collared golf shirt underneath of it. I don't know. Besides maybe getting it dry cleaned, if I would take that off for that first year.
No.
And then when it came to day 366, I think I would lobby to just keep it. Just tell them I lost it. You're gonna have to make another one to hang in my locker at Augusta, and just keep that thing at home.
I'm with you, man. I wear it everywhere, legitimately everywhere. And then I might find a way to get a replica. And then when they tell me it's time to turn it in, I give them the replica. And I keep the original. Just because that's sweet. So who do you think? Who are you going for? Are you rooting for Tiger to win it all then? Is that who you want to... Is that what your game plan is?
100%. I'm hoping and praying. Even if he doesn't compete, it's still my favorite tournament, so I'll still watch no matter who's competing. But I am crossing my fingers that he can come out tomorrow and Friday and shoot at least somewhere to where he's got a chance on the weekend. Like I said, I love watching Tiger, and the TV ratings go through the roof when he's actually competing. So I can't even imagine what it'll be come this weekend if he's somewhere in the top 10, somewhere within striking distance of actually winning the tournament. I'm pulling for him. I don't know if he'll actually be able to pull it out. I don't know how many majors he's got left in him, but I would love to see him compete. I think he's got the hardest part with Tiger is he's had so many problems with his back, so many injuries that you're always kind of worrisome that he's going to get a weird lie, whether it's in a bunker, in the rough, behind a tree, something where he's going to try and pull an old Tiger move and make some spectacular swing as hard as he can, move the ball 100 yards left and 100 yards right. And he's going to end up injuring himself. So it's always one of those, every swing you take, you're just hoping he doesn't start grimacing.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a shot.
How cool would it be to go into the final round with, like, Tiger in contention, like Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth and Rory and Fowler, like a top 10 of all top 10s. Like, that would be the coolest thing in the world to see, just like, and then Tiger be up there with them, just grinding it out. That would be so, I wouldn't be able to keep my eyes off TV, man.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. It'd be an awesome few hours to watch him golf.
I know. Hey, so this is typically when I would probably throw it to you and be like, hey, man, do a Blue Jackets update, which I'm going to let you do. I will. But before we do that, I got to let the audience know something, man. So, remember these last couple times, for everybody listening, we've had to kind of delay the podcast to like Wednesday nights because Mr. Nick Hill, you know, he gets tickets sometimes, and a lot of the games end up on Tuesdays, and I'm like, go ahead, man, go to the game, but you got to take pictures and post it on our Real Bro Talk Facebook page. He's always like, sure, no big deal. So yesterday I get this text message from you, man, and it was, what did it say? I can't remember. What did it say? I forget now.
I think the first one just said, can we push it to Wednesday again? I got some tickets to the Blue Jackets game tonight.
Free tickets.
I think was the original.
Free
tickets to the game.
Free tickets. So I said, what? I said, sure, man. Go ahead. Do your thing again. I need to see some pictures on Facebook, though. Rep RDBT, right? They won, right? Didn't they win?
They won in overtime and a huge game for CBJ.
How'd that look, man? How was it being there and being a part of the overtime. Was it overtime? It was OT,
It was
right?
overtime.
How was
It was a big
how did it
comeback
feel?
in overtime.
How was that? I mean, how was the energy? How did it feel? Was it just crazy when it went in overtime and they won it?
So before I tell the story, I want to start.
No, you don't need to tell the
saying-
story, man.
I
But
don't
no,
even know
for
how
everybody.
many years ago.
For everybody,
I'll
homeboy
get
didn't
to
go.
I'll get to the
He
story.
didn't go to the game. That's
So-
that's the gist of it. You didn't go. There's no storyline there. You had free tickets to the game. How many games are left in the season, Nick?
2 games.
2 games. You said 2 games left. Was that including last night, or is that after last night?
Including after last night. There was 3 games.
She had 3
as
games
of
when you
last-
got the news you were gonna get free tickets, and you had 3 games left, and these 3 games are absolutely critical. You didn't go to the game because somebody said, "Tornado warning, don't go," and you said, "Oh man, Ohio gets so many tornadoes. This has got to be legit, and they get so many devastating tornadoes. I better stay in my home in the basement and curl up with my blanket and my water and my flashlights because I'm scared." And you skipped out on the game. That's all I hear. That's the story I want to tell.
Before I tell the story, about 8 years ago, I used to deliver ice for a company called Home City Ice. Drove a box truck around, hit up little mom and pop shops, gas station, giving everyone the ice that everyone wants. So I had one day, so I don't even remember where I was in Columbus. It was raining out. I hit my brakes. Brakes decided they didn't want to work. Started sliding. Hit this little, I would say 6-inch cement thing down the middle of the road. Flipped the truck. So ever since then, I absolutely hate driving in any kind of weather. So yesterday morning, I'm sitting on my couch. Like, man, I'd love to go to this game tonight. It's a big game. We really need these 2 points. So I get on my Twitter, and I sent out this tweet. And I tagged a few of the Columbus Blue Jacket players. Say, hey, I'd love to go to the game. Anyone got some extra tickets they got laying around? I've done it a couple times and never gotten any response. I wasn't expecting a response. A couple hours later, I'll say it was probably around 1 o'clock, I see I got a message in my DMs. Like, who the hell's DMing me? I don't use Twitter enough to get messages on here. So I pulled up. I have this message from Sonny Milano, who's number 22 for the Blue Jackets. Says, hey, I got 2 tickets for you. I said, dude, that is awesome.
Time out. I'm timing out in your story, man. You did not say a Blue Jackets player gave you free tickets.
So I left that part out yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Let's get
so
better
I write
and
back,
better.
I said, here's my name. I said, dude, you're awesome. Good luck tonight. He writes back and says, they'll be at will call for you.
Are you kidding me right now? You probably could have had the craziest seats in the world last night, and you let a tornado warning? Come on.
We get late. So I find a buddy that wanted to go to the game.
Oh my
we make plans. We're going to meet down there and go to the game. So I'm watching. All day. I'm obviously planning on going to this game. I don't know where the seats were. They were just at will call. He didn't tell me. They could have been up in the nosebleed.
They're
they could have been in
nosebleeds.
press box. I don't know where these tickets.
Yeah, probably press box. Absolutely.
So we're getting close to time to go.
I'm upset.
We're getting close, and I start looking
right
outside, looking at the radar. I said, "Dude, this looks terrible outside." So I'm already thinking about, like, dude, I don't know if I want to drive in this. So we get within 5 minutes. It's getting close to time to get in the car and start heading down to find parking and go to wait in the line for will call to get these tickets.
All I hear is a lot of bitching right now about free tickets, man.
I'm putting backstory in this thing.
This is there's no backstory. This is you bitched out last night on free tickets that a Blue Jackets player legitimately responded to you on Twitter and said that he was going to leave them for you at will call, and you middle fingered him and said, your tickets aren't good enough for me.
First of all,
I'm the guy.
if I was even there or not. He probably had 2 extra tickets. Where
you know what I'm going to do? What's his name? Sonny Milano? I'm DMing his ass and saying you stood him up and you didn't get the tickets and to never do that crap again for you. I can't believe you did that. That makes me upset.
5 minutes before we're supposed to go, these damn tornado sirens start going off. I'm looking outside. Remember, I've already had an accident. I hate driving in this weather. I start hearing these tornado sirens going off. Tornado warning for our county. I said, I'm not going. My wife goes, you know you want to go. I said, absolutely I want to go. It's a big game. I can't. So I said, I can't
Ubered it? Couldn't even Uber
it.
Can't Uber? You're not even driving.
Never done Uber before. I'm not exactly 100% sure how that works, but
you get on an Uber app and you say, "Come pick me up."
I text my buddy. Yeah, of course he's pissed. He's thinking we're gonna have.
Who's your buddy?
I don't know.
Who is your buddy that's supposed to go with you?
The guy I was actually taking.
Yeah.
Was the guy that won our tournament.
Tim
Leedstrom.
Tim, I'm sorry. Nick was a big douchebag last night.
Now I did make it up to him, so let me get to that point. So we end up not going. So I'm watching the game last night from home. We end up going down 4-1. So I text him. I said, buddy, it's a good thing we didn't go. We're down 4-1. Game goes on. It gets all the way back to tied. I'm like, oh, crap. I'm just waiting for this text message to come from him.
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Goes into overtime. Of course, we win. Come back from 4-1 all the way back to winning 5-4. As soon as the puck went in the net, I get a text from him. Yeah, I'm real glad we didn't go. I hate you.
Good job, Tim. I would do the exact same thing.
Let me also say, I did feel like shit because he made some moves to be able to go to this thing. So I did tell him, I think the playoffs start a week from now. Well, I am taking him to a playoff game, which looks like we're going to end up playing damn Pittsburgh Penguins again, depending on how these last 2 games go. So I did tell him I'm going to take him to a playoff game. I'm going to buy his ticket. So I did make it up to him. But I do want to say, Sonny Milano, I know you're not listening, but if for some reason you are, but I absolutely love that you reach out to the fans like that, and you had no use for those tickets, so you just threw them out there. Unfortunately, I didn't end up getting to use them, but
I'm tagging him in on this. I'm tagging him in on this podcast episode, just so he knows you did that. I
told him I did.
You didn't tell him?
I sent him a message before the game, letting him know what I was doing, just so he didn't. I didn't figure he'd be looking, but in case he knew exactly where those seats were, and he looked up and saw 2 empty seats, and he'd go, "And that schmuck."
Did he ever message you back?
That's a negative.
Of course not. You spit in his face.
But on moving off from that story, because I got to get off that story. Jackets had a huge win. I'm guessing you started watching the game, and somewhere about the middle you turned it off because we turned back into the Blue Jackets that we've looked like for the last 15 games. I think we've gone 13-1-1 since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
We've scored the most goals in the NHL since then as well. I want to say it was like 73. They looked hella good. We needed those two points last night. We got 2 games left in the season. We play Pittsburgh tomorrow night at home, which is a huge game. And then we finish up with Nashville. I think we finish up actually in Nashville. We're tied currently. Pittsburgh's number 2. We're number 3. I think we're at 96 points apiece. So it looks like tomorrow night's going to be basically for home ice advantage, depending on how these last 2 games go. It's tight. You can go anywhere from second in the Metro to, depending on what Florida does, which they're trying to get into the wild card spot. You could darn near go from Pittsburgh's already in, but we still haven't clinched anything. If we lose our last 2 games, Florida wins their last 3, we're still out of the playoffs. So we need at least 1 point these next 2 games, or we need Florida not to win the last 3 to clinch it and make sure that we're in there. But it's looking like we're going back to Pittsburgh. So I'm excited for it. There's nothing better, and I've said it before. There's nothing better than playoff hockey.
If you're gonna go after your demons, man, you gotta go after the team that knocks you out all the time, right? So, anyways,
I'm excited for it.
That'd be awesome to see him go. Seriously. But if you do get the opportunity tomorrow to get tickets to the game. Is it home or away?
Tomorrow's home. That one, these two. Now that I have to buy 2 playoff tickets,
yeah,
I'm staying home for tomorrow night's game.
Well, you need to, because I mean, there is a 10% chance there's going to be some rain tomorrow. It's going to be a little breezy. I think like 5 or 10 miles per hour.
Tornadoes out of that storm yesterday. So
yeah, they did a lot of damage yesterday. I heard about the damage. The total is $7. That's what I heard. And the $7 came from the 2 mobile homes here in Thornville. That's just the way it is. You're okay. So yeah, be careful tomorrow driving when you go to work. High of 47. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. 11 mile per hour winds tomorrow. It stepped up a notch. Be careful.
Hate all you want, bud.
Oh, not hating.
What turned into a really cool story turned into a damn, I'm never going to hear the end of this one.
You left out the fact that a Blue Jackets player gave you the free tickets, man. You literally just said I got free tickets. You didn't say it. So now you took it. You took it from a real dumb thing you did anyways to like, wow, really really dumb thing.
I do feel like I get to buy a number 22 Sonny Milano jersey now to even out the juju for this one.
I'm sorry my boy did that to you. I wouldn't have done that. I would have not have done that. Just saying. Anyways, so man, it was a good episode. You got anything else for the audience, man?
But I had my little Blue Jackets rant. I think I'm excited for these last 2 games and playoffs starting next week. I'm sure you're gonna hear more and more hockey, at least from me, as soon as we get to the playoffs. But I think that's all I got for this week.
All right, man. Well, Tim, congratulations on winning. I'm going to get you that blanket, man, and get it done for you. Make sure you're going to Instagram. Make sure you're going to Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Twitter, Facebook. You're liking our stuff. You're following us. We appreciate all the support now. But, yeah, just until next week, man, we'll talk to you then. So appreciate you.
Join us next week for another epic episode of RDBT. Keep track of what we're doing on all social media at Real Dad Bro Talk. Till next time.
A show now, and you know it's going up. Plays in the millions. Guess I'm finally blowing up.